she went to the well at midday because she's had 5 husbands. And everybody in the city is now talking about this girl. So she can't go to the well in the morning because if she goes to the well in the morning, she might get into an altercation. She's the rejected of society. I want you to find yourself in this woman's story. Because this woman had to change her whole life because of the experiences that have happened to her. The pattern of life that she should have had, she wasn't able to have. But one day, Jesus said, I must go to Samaria. And it was only because this woman, in her heart, she was looking for something that she couldn't quite express. So, he met her, and they began to talk. She began to talk about worship. So immediately we know that she's a religious person. But guess what? Even religion does not equate to Jesus Christ. It's different. We knew she was religious because she began to talk about the fact that her fathers were worshippers on a certain mountain. So some of us may have a background in Islam. Some of us may have a background in whatever we have a background in. But the truth is, no matter what you have a background in, if it's not Jesus Christ, you're only just playing religion. Jesus Christ is the only way to God. And without God, let me tell you something, without God, man is walking dead. So this lady met Jesus, and then eventually, Jesus began to tell her about her life. And he told her so much about her life that what then began to happen was she was so in awe of him, and then she submitted to him. When she submitted to him, she no longer was the person that they talked about in their morning gisting. Thank you. You know, people have morning gist. Can you believe what so and so did? Maybe some of you even know each other in the fellowship. You say, I swear that's that. Morning gist. But she no longer was the person that people would have morning gist about. She now became an evangelist. In fact, she became an evangelist so much that just through her, the whole city came to Christ. So whatever she was before was not who she was meant to be. She was confident. She was bold. She lived life fearlessly. She didn't have to rigmarole people. She was who she was meant to be. That is what happens when you meet with Jesus. When you meet with Jesus, all your past experiences, 1, of abuse, is gone. 2, of drug use, is gone. 3, of being used by men, is gone. What begins to happen next is that you begin to turn into this bold, fearless person that is able to take on life. You know life is taking you on right now, you're not taking on life. You know why you're not taking on life? Because in order to take on life, you need to meet life. And life is only in Jesus Christ. So that's what we present to you guys today. Now, when the time comes to pray in about 5 minutes, I want you to really pray. Unfortunately, today is not a day where we carry people along. And after we finish praying for a few minutes, I'm going to call out people who, first, I'm going to call out people who are struggling with the area of drug use. As worship was going on, that's the first call that I found in my spirit. People that are struggling in the area of drug use. Remember, let people make you their morning gist. It's fine. Allow people to have you as their morning gist. So people can be watching around looking and saying, but some people don't use drugs, but they're high on drugs. They're high on drugs. They smell their own. I don't want to use that word in. in fellowship, because then they will start questioning whether I'm a pastor or not. But you guys use your own imagination. They smelt their own so much that they no longer can see the fact that when someone is bound, the only purpose for that person is to set them free. I don't care where they're coming from. I don't care how they've lived life before they entered into Burlington Connect today. But Jesus is only Jesus because when he's in a place, if you meet him in that place, you leave changed. If that doesn't happen, then you never went to go and see Jesus. You came to come and see Sam. But I don't present Sam to you. I present a man called Jesus. This man called Jesus died for us. Got 5 minutes, 8:30, we're going to start praying. This man called Jesus died for us. And when he died for us, and I always say this to people, I've never, we always say, you know what, bro? You know what, girl? I'll die for you. But when you really face death, it's not ride or die when it's real death. You will now start thinking, so all the future plans that I had for you, all of those things are finished. I think no. But there was a man called Jesus who, at the age of, the history reports, at the age of 33, with so much ahead of him, he said, if I do not die now, people will never really experience God the way they should. In life, they will walk by themselves and they will be lost. You know what? The worst thing about being lost, the most deceiving thing about being lost is when you refuse to admit that you're lost. I'm just picking from here and there tonight because it's a prayer now. I've been in that place where I'm lost. Or something's telling me, you're not really lost. I'm lost. I don't know where I'm going. I don't know. I've reached the age of, you can have maybe mom at home, or you can have someone telling you, what are you going to do with your life? And you're like, I'm going to go to uni, because at least if I go to uni for the next 3 years, at least that keeps mom off my back. Yeah. Or whoever is pestering me. But when they ask you, what are you going to do with your life after that? It's still like not clear in your head. You know why? Because you haven't